A quick roundup of global developments only on StratNews Global. China and the US have held the first meeting of the Intergovernmental Dialogue on Artificial Intelligence in Geneva. During the meeting, both the countries exchanged views on the technological risks and global governance of AI. Measures taken to promote the economic and social development empowered by AI and other issues of respective concern. China said it supports strengthening the global governance of AI, advocates giving full play to the role of the UN as the main channel, and is willing to strengthen communication and coordination with the international community to form a global artificial intelligence governance framework and standards. North Korea's state-run television KRT has aired video footage of Kim Jong-un inspecting a tactical missile weapon system that will be installed at its army's missile units. Kim expressed satisfaction with the missile system production in the first half of the year and emphasized it was important to carry out this year's military production plan, saying it would bring a breakthrough in the military's readiness for war. Missile launchers produced in the first half of this year will be installed at Western Fire Strike units in charge of important fire strike missions, state media said. Last week, Kim inspected the country's artillery weapon system and attended the test firing of such weapons. At least 20 people have been injured as Russia carried out a series of airstrikes on residential areas in the city of Kharkiv in northeastern Ukraine, local officials have said. One of the sites hit was a 20-story building in the city center. The Kharkiv prosecutor's office said at least 15 garages caught fire near another residential building after being struck by the guided bombs. Kharkiv, Ukraine's second-largest city, and the surrounding region have long been targeted by Russian attacks, but the strikes have become more intense in recent months, hitting civilian and energy infrastructure. Rioting raged on in New Caledonia's capital Nomia as France's National Assembly approved changes to voting rules in the Pacific island. The New Caledonia government said in a statement schools would stay closed after some were damaged. Lawmakers in Paris voted 351 to 153 in favor of the bill to allow French residents who have lived in New Caledonia for 10 years to vote in provincial elections. Some local leaders fear this will dilute the indigenous Kanak vote. French President Emmanuel Macron has condemned the violence and called for calm in a letter addressed to officials in New Caledonia. Several areas in the provinces of Corrientes and Entre Rios in northeastern Argentina are still reeling under flooding as a result of the heavy rains that hit southern Brazil in recent days. Hundreds of families have been displaced by the flooding of the overflowing Uruguay River. In the province of Entre Rios, the overflowing river has mainly affected the town of Concordia, where a report released by the local authorities said that a total of 167 families, comprising 568 people, had been evacuated. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken picked up a red guitar at a basement bar in Kyiv with the message for Ukraine that the United States and much of the world was fighting not just for Ukraine but for the free world. Blinken, who while in Kyiv this week has pledged unwavering US support as Russia has intensified attacks in Ukraine. He joined band 19.99 on stage and they played Neil Young's Rockin' in the Free World, a rock anthem released in 1989 just before the fall of the Berlin Wall. The United States is with you, so much of the world is with you, and they are fighting not just for a free Ukraine but for the free world. And the free world is with you too, Blinken said before playing the song. Thousands of protesters shut down a major intersection in the Georgian capital after Parliament passed in third reading a law denounced by the opposition and Western countries as authoritarian. Demonstrators converged on Hero Square, an intersection controlling traffic between different neighborhoods, and closed it down. Georgia's parliament has passed the third and final reading of a foreign agents bill, clearing the major hurdle on its way to becoming law. The draft now goes to the president, who has said she will veto it, but her decision can be overridden by another vote in parliament, controlled by the ruling party and its allies. Russian President Vladimir Putin has signed decrees appointing all members of the government and held his meeting with the new cabinet lineup. Nominations for deputy prime ministers and ministers were approved in the State Duma, and consultations on the heads of law enforcement agencies and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in the Federation Council were held. Putin embarks on a visit to Beijing in Thursday. While diplomats and analysts expect Putin to push Xi Jinping for further support to Russia's war economy, the trip is likely to be heavily symbolic of a shared worldview, centered on countering a US-led order. The Cannes Film Festival officially kicked off on Tuesday night, as celebrities walked the red carpet into the plush Grand Theatre Lumiere to honor Hollywood actor Meryl Streep. before settling in to watch this year's opening film, The Second Act. The audience gave a minutes-long ovation for Streep when she took the stage and was welcomed by French actor Juliette Binoche.
You change the way we look at women. In the cinema, you change the way we look at women in the cinema world, and also helping us to look at ourselves differently.
I'm so grateful to receive this honor from this great artist and from you all, because Cannes, okay, Americans, we say Cannes. We think it's fancy to say Cannes, but it's wrong. Anyway, I don't know what I was saying, but we do know that this prize is unique in the world of cinema, and I'm very, very honored to receive it.